$80 games now feel far more emptier than the $20 games you used to get in 27. Why is that? And I'm being genuine, like, what the hell happened there? I remember when you could just get 20 bucks, right? And a video game could feel polished, fun. That's it. You didn't have to do anything else. Once you got that game, it was yours. You were good, right? And again, I'm talking like early 2000s, late 2000s, right? You could buy the disc, and that was it. No new patches, no new fucking nothing. Okay, like the game is done. No DLC you had to buy. Like you were good. No fucking battle pass. Like some games that come to mind to me like almost immediately are games like early Minecraft, or you had like Left 4 Dead, or even if you want to go earlier than that, like dude, you had like Peggle or like Plants vs Zombies, right? You had some really solid games. Now that those days are out the fucking window. Okay, I'm not saying that you're not going to get good games. That's not what this rant's about. The rant that I'm talking about right now is specifically about the fact that people are trying to basically use us as consumers to their utmost potential. Meaning, they're not looking to actually have us enjoy an experience. They're looking to get as much money out of us as possible, which it checks out. Let me do some number crunching with you really quick, okay? Overall, okay, at least in the world, at least in the US where I live, everything has increased within the last decade about 100%, right? Within the last few decades, it has increased 100%. Wow, the average income, right? Like the average income has increased 14%. So let's look at this perspective, right? Back in the day, you'd make, I don't know, like maybe 14 an hour, right? Let's say you're lucky, you make 14 an hour. Okay, well, guess what? Good job. You made 16 an hour now, right? Hopefully, you actually got a better job or something. But let's say you don't, okay? Let's say, again, we're just looking at statistics. You're making 16 an hour. And instead of a game being 20 bucks, okay, you work, what, maybe like an hour and a half? Maybe, okay, well, obviously 2 hours, right? We round up. No, you have to work the entire fucking day for a game now. And yes, I am pretty mad because I'm looking more at Mario Kart. Then Mario Kart, I think, is bullshit that it costs that much, and it's just complete greed. You cannot convince me otherwise. And I love Mario Kart, bro. One of my favorite games is Mario Kart on the Wii. I think it is timeless. It gives me great nostalgia because I used to play at my grandparents' place. But you're really going to tell me that like this shit's worth it? Fuck no. Fuck no. I can think of literally at least a dozen games you can buy, which is 80 bucks. Great, like good fucking games too, man. And why do they do this? Because they have bills to pay too, sure. But they're trying to fucking use us, bro. Like, dude, they do not give a shit about us. And we've kind of seen this kind of go up over time. And even back then, I didn't like exactly, I wasn't okay with it. But the median used to be, okay, $60 game was the highest it'll even go. And even like before that, it was like still questionable. The only ones that really did that were like games like Call of Duty. But I mean, they were the pinnacle of the time, right? Dude, you were not gonna fucking convince me that some of the games are as good as they are, or that they're triple A. And I think companies got more greedy with the introduction of the Battle Pass. But the thing is, like the Battle Pass, even though I don't like it, there's a difference between like, okay, a Battle Pass on a free game, right? Because the game's free, but if you want to support it, you can do that, right? That's a little bit different. There's a difference between that versus having a game like, okay, let's say fucking Dead by Daylight. You jump into that, you buy the game, then you play more characters. Guess what? You bought the game for fucking 20 bucks. Well, you still need to get these characters. So, let's say, you spend how much ever that is, which is in the hundreds of all the characters, right? I mean, you need to be up to date with all the characters. And then, even then, there's a fucking battle pass. In that game, there's a battle pass. And if you don't get it all done, guess what? You don't get all your fucking credits. So you have to buy even more. In a game that you already bought, with more DLCs to be included in the community, to be able to actually, like, immerse yourself in that game completely. I mean, it's just a joke. Like, the inflation is so fucked up. And this is like games sometimes that are like 70 to 80 bucks for bare content that is hardly finished. Like, a lot of these games too are just like fucking early access, and they're like, oh, 30 bucks, please. And I've seen like these games boost their prices at times. It's fucking insane. And they're working off of other things too. Like, so for example, if you want to get the game early, play it early, they're preying off of, now there's so many content creators. Guess what? You got to pay extra 30 bucks or some shit, or 20 if you want to play the game early, like a day or two. Because if you want to get into the game first and actually get your views up, that's what you gotta do. Raising the price is fine if the quality scales with it. What do I mean by this? Okay, there are some games that I genuinely do think that can pull off that price tag. A good example is Elden Ring. Elden Ring is such a vast, big, like, you can tell that there's effort put into every little bit of that game. and it is a beauty. And I don't know how they made that game as good as they did. I will give them the benefit of the doubt there. Okay, I do think that is worth $60. Another game that I think is definitely worth $60 would probably be the God of War games, the new ones, right? Those ones, I can see that. Okay, I can definitely see that with how much is put into that. It is not just your average run of the mill fucking game. Okay, but even so, it's still a high price tag, right? And back in the day, if I remember correctly, how it used to be was for each hour you play the game is how the add on an extra dollar to the playtime, right? They don't even do that shit anymore. Now it's just like, okay, well, if it's high enough quality or if there's a lot enough money put into it, then guess what? You're going to pay this much, and it's like, holy shit! And you can do that for like a fucking 6 hour experience sometimes, bro. Like, and that's why like I really love Valve games. Like Valve games were so peak. If you were around for that shit and able to like experience Valve games, you were so blessed. They're not even the same anymore, just because the community's fucking, the internet community's not the same now. It's like things have just really overinflated and kind of weird. But like, dude, I'm telling you, if you're around back then, you know what peak gaming was. You just fucking know. But let me just look at some notes really quick that I have here. Okay, so you're not just paying for the game now. Here's what you're also gonna pay for if you do get these bigger games now: a buggy ass launch, EA, a DLC roadmap, in-game shops, the new Halo, or at least previously I guess new Halo, battle passes, as I said, and then pre-order bonuses. There's tons and tons and tons of these pre-order bonuses. They always kind of got you beforehand, but like now it's always, and everyone knows it's bullshit. Everyone knows it's bullshit, but it's like again, like, oh, you're gonna miss out on that one little thing, and it's just a lot of shit just feels so predatory instead of, okay, I buy the game, I get the content. It used to be so simple, and a lot of the best games do that. And guess what? You get everything, you're fine. One of the best games I played was called Spore. I remember the base game, which is great, and then they came out with this other shit, and there's a whole other drama about it. But like, if you look at the base game when it first came out, everyone loved it. Now it's kind of like settled down. Like now there's a whole lot less about it. But if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. And I think this is also why I support indie shit more too, because like, okay, these big studios will charge more and somehow give less. Well, you got these indie studios that are giving like, okay, here's a $30 game, right? And it's fucking sick as shit. Some of the best examples I can think of is like Hades. Hades is a wonderful example, actually. I believe at least that games used to be valued at what they are worth. And even then, I had a little bit more faith in what the gaming industry was back in the day because it wasn't large. It wasn't huge. It really was people just trying to make, somewhat like, good amount of money, but enough so that they could keep some money in their pockets, continue to grow, but not abuse the user. And now it's whatever they can get away with. And the sky's the limit just because that's how the internet is nowadays. And I don't agree with that. I think it's pish posh. They do this to us because they think they can get away with it, and they will continue to. But I implore you, dude, there are so many games that you don't need to spend all this fucking money on, okay? Don't feel you gotta get into this trap. So many times I find these people like, oh yeah, I gotta just get this new thing for the Battle Pass, new thing for this, new thing for that. They need to stay up. And I like I like trend chasing. I think a lot of people do, especially me. But I'm telling you, dude, there's so many games I've tried that, like, you don't have to do that. Dude, even, like, I know not everyone's going to agree with this, but, like, dude, even just, like, jumping on fucking Roblox, bro. Like, dude, tons of free games of, like, genuinely high quality now, man. I'm telling you, there's so much out there that, guess what? Even just $5 now, you can get a lot of shit. So, bottom line, I don't think that $80 games can't be worth it, but they better start fucking proving it. Because your time matters, and so does your money. And ain't no way, unless you prove it to me, I'm going to buy another $80 game ever again. So, that's my yap. Thank you guys for watching, and please subscribe if you haven't. Smell, keep it up, and I'll see you guys in the next one.